Starting on the CT side.
Polish Counter-Strike representation as well. Spinks from Israel. Doto still repping Finland and Danes, as we discussed. Two sides of the same coin. But from Corona to Crowner, we're looking to crown a champ over the course of these next 5 maps. Let's get into it. We do have 3 players from NIP starting through that underpass, and Doto already looking to confirm an absence. There is res to corral. Already bloodshed elsewhere. That was Hampus towards the B side of the map. You can see his X there indicated over on that special mini map. Hades is committed to this. I don't fancy his chances. He just wants one. Take one with you. You're being hunted, trying to stabilize the crosshair. It's not to be. Doto lingers.
The P2K, mind you. Okay, Doto.
Well, this is clearing. Will he consider it?
Gonna have to be pretty wide on this.
Oh, long-range block. Doto gets a chance, but it's solved. Re-aggressing. What? Snappy wants answers here, Chad.
Yeah,
he wants answers now.
A lot of this, haven't we?
Yeah, and it's been working wonders for them.
Bit of a timer on this device. If he slinks out of the bathrooms, which he has, Snappy might not be able to catch him here.
Okay, problems now. So Spinks, good luck, mate. The door will swing open from device, but it's Monster he has to growing concern for. Diha responsible for that only just. He's not in a position to really actively contest
jump
this.
spotting it.
Yeah, and there's a kit on this. It's not going to be an easy retake by any means, but every time I feel like I say that, ENCE find a way to turn it on. Spinks does need a second. He needs to double up. The bomb carrier charging. That was brave from LNZ, and he continues to stand his ground. A handleable situation for Diha. They don't know where he is, unchecked as of yet. Throwing the bomb across and spotted out now.
Smoke's fading.
Oh, the Shadow. He knows what's going on, trying to play games. They're looking to clear him out. Oh, played. He played it to perfection, and Diha isolates. Plopsky's gone, and that is lovely. What a recovery. They can count on Spinks, but they can count on Diha. Highly impactful in the pistol. We saw a couple of those over the course of his playoff run.
Think about the other day, just on Dust 2, right? He was a monster in like the first 3 or 4 rounds of play there, just shutting out G2. But it's great to have a look in this early with some of the things that we've learned throughout this RMR event. One was the NIP love their B executes on their T side of Overpass. We saw a lot of that. They had some good flashes that were able to manifest them into that bomb site, getting it down time and time again. And for ENCE, I think something for these guys is they don't back down from a fight. If anything, they're always looking for it, right? They know when to push, and they actually know when to play conservative here, but they're not scared. And I think here for these guys, you saw in that little graphic we had out 4 of which have never been to a major before. That's a really good showing because they're going to need to carry that through in the 16 days' time.
That style of play, you know, it's easy to think it's a bit gambly and a bit risky. But what we learned and have seen is that from the eye test, they're very calculated as to when they're taking that information. They're one of the best teams that seem to have a read on when it's safe or wise to do so. And of course, you saw an example in that pistol already. But that was one of the big reasons we saw ENCE get off to such a flying start against Astralis. On multiple occasions, they do come in with some quote-unquote audacious maneuvers early. And it leads to these quick starts that teams have to overcome, as opposed to just a fair fight going back to back and trading blows in the force by wars.
Yeah, we did see Dupree yesterday just shaking his head about it all, right? Because they weren't backing down, as I mentioned. They were just taking those fights. And okay, well, we do have a bit of a technical timeout coming here, guys.
I've seen this one before.
Yeah, he's rejoining, so hopefully it's not going to come back to bite us like the previous couple of days here. This has been a bit of a mystery here. And we do apologize for any delays. We would love to get this one going as much as the rest of you. We do have a best of 5 here today, so these can go long. I think the record we had once upon a time was about 8 hours. That's if we go the distance, and they're all nice and close maps. But potentially with the style of Counter-Strike ENCE have been playing that we've just been highlighting, it could be quicker. NIP, they're not afraid of a rush either, especially the man in the middle of the screen right there, the row of Hampus. Just love a faster play. But they're, yeah, just having a discussion about that now.
Well, you know, if I was making a list of things I didn't want to see after round 1 of a best of 5,
this would be it.
This would be at the top of it.
Yeah, this would be it. Go put the kettle on, guys. Go put the kettle on. We're going to summon the energy that we have left here.
Give me how a call.
Early. I wish he was working this one. Unfortunately, he's not.
What,
Mr. Slavinsky's not
here. Best admin's not here.
Yeah, he had to take some time off. So it's a bit unfortunate we don't have Mr. Michał Slavinsky here. I'm sure he could fix this one in a jiffy. Yeah, this could be a timely one. And well, we prepared for this. We did prepare for this. Let's start real wide, shall we? As we mentioned the other day, Alex was taught about a thing called a funnel.
I did. That was
so
what we started.
Let's stop at the start of the top of the funnel.
Yeah.
The very, very top of the funnel. And let's give all of you, we'll keep it Counter-Strike related until we go podcast mode here. Maybe we can recap all of the teams that have qualified for the major, because if you just missed it,
Yeah.
we did have Copenhagen Flames.
Oh, what a story.
And we could hear them through the wall. I wanted to try and catch it on cam, but we just did our little segment there and I just missed it. But you could hear the emotion through the wall, right? This is a team, we'll start with them, that are the most recently qualified, who I don't think were on anybody's radar here. They came through and managed to top their group, went 5-0 in the highly contested group of Group A against the likes of G2, Big, we have Mouse Sports, FPX, and Aura. We'll give them an honorable mention as well, the Swedes, those plucky underdogs as well. But coming on in, they recently added Pitta as the coach of this Copenhagen Flames roster. Roy would be one of the only names with Hooksy, who you may know from the Mad Lions days in Danish Counter-Strike. And they've got Zyphon, they've got Yabi, they've got Nikodos, and they've qualified for their first major, these boys. And it was amazing just to get them, to see them play this type of Counter-Strike. And I think a lot of people at home, right, we saw from a lot of professionals really attesting to that and saying that they've been playing a good, solid brand of CS.
They've been in the top 30, which is usually a good metric for a competitive one against the big dogs. For the last, what, 2 months? 2 months. And now qualifying for your first major. And seeing Roy as well, who's not typically your star player.
No, not normally. It was the supportive element of Mad Lions.
You know, all you have to do is go and open his statistics for this EU RMR, and it's not only all in the green, but the dude put in an absolute shift. We're seeing 40 bombs, admittedly in quad OT, an average of about 1.1 in the ratings over the majority of his games here. Some real, like, brilliant performances, 1.4 at the high end, 1.7 up against Mouse Sports, and Roy just not dragging them by any means, but a crucial component within this Copenhagen Flames machine. You top your group, you then not only have to have the mental fortitude to take those losses on the chin, keep your head up, but then you keep having that series point, that major qualification point is taken away from you, back to OT, keep a cool head on your shoulders. I've seen, greater players buckle under that sort of pressure, and these boys, even Yabi was at the bottom of the scoreboard in a 1v2, 1v3, held his nerve. It is hype. It's hype just to see their dreams being realized. You know that Aura video we ran, Chad?
Yeah.
Like, I know they're not qualified, but seeing them go through the open qualifier and then be sitting there getting exactly the same treatment as, the teams that have done this 100 times, getting to kind of type dot snack or whatever you do in the chat.
Request, yeah, that's the one, yeah. Yeah, and then getting the prac rooms, getting the treatment of everybody else, right? Getting to see what this is all about. Now, I know this isn't the lands that we're all hoping for,
That's going to motivate you to come back, right? You've got a taste now. You've got a taste, and no.
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, I just saw the clock move. I just got a little too excited.
Yeah, no, we're just having a little bit of a look right now, and yeah, we shouldn't be getting this back underway, I don't think. We're probably just testing to see if the issue has been
there's a button
fixed.
here at my desk that says start game.
Oh, yeah?
I've only just seen it.
We're meant to press that, I think.
Is it us that
At the same time, it's like turning keys.
So we both have to press it?
Yeah, we both have to press it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not live right now. They're just going to try and work out this little bit of a drama right here. So, okay, so we started with Copenhagen Flames. Tai Lu qualified over Vici Gaming. So you have those boys qualified in.
I haven't had my finger on the Asian CS pulse. So from my understanding, bearing in mind Blair's just my resident expert, and I just use his Twitter opinion as mine.
Sure.
He took to Twitter to suggest that it is quite poetic that once again Tai Lu have managed to best Vici. I know that's like a long-standing rivalry. I think for a while last year, Vici were kind of getting the better of Tai Lu, but they've had a rejig, no? Like, Tai Lu have added, I think I saw Dan King's name and someone else, not somebody, he's still there, but a name from the old days.
Yeah, we've obviously got Attacker in the mix there, Summer as well. Summer went by a different name once upon a time, so he's changed his name every now and again. But yeah, so the Chinese Counter-Strike over there between Tai Lu and Vici, it is just those two names. Hold up a second.
Yo.
We're ready to go.
HF's in the chat.
All right, well, that caught us off guard, so thank bloody hell we're back underway here. It wasn't a lengthy one. I hope that you did just go put the kettle on.
I appreciate you all lighting the candles and at your shrines and praying to me, House Levinsky.
You have to work as a team here, guys.
Oh, ENCE, this is it. They just don't want to take the foot off the throat. Throwing in initial aggression. Device going to clear this, and he's punished for it. That was one of the AKs, and Rez is the other. Greedy boy, gonna get spanked. Hades delivers, and it's not all good yet. Linus makes it competitive. Those AKs cannot be recovered, at least not from the CTs. But a couple of important scalps found and some aggression right out of the gate. And they don't stop, Chad.
Yeah, they're playing for info right here. So if they can clear out Hampus over in this water position, it looks like all three of them could be bearing down on him very, very shortly. Doto's about to creep through and Spinks could fly open the door, looking away at the wrong time. Hampus does strike, but that door swings open. Spinks now, his position noted. And it is an open runway towards this A site right now. Diha and Spinks left in a 2-1-2.
Wow, he's got to use his own best judgment there, because of course he goes down, they're sprinting straight back to B. He's got to time this to perfection. He doesn't have any confirmation as to where they are encroaching from.
This makes sense from Diha, right? Because if he pushes his head up now, he doesn't know exactly where the T's are. So they're waiting for the plant to the bomb here before they're going to rotate in. Now, the fact that Spinks has left connector, maybe worried about their hunting him. Now, they're not. They're going to confirm that it won't be the B bomb site. It should be planted in A any moment. But the question for NIP is going to be, is it going to be a bank side plant? Are they going to plant safe? Or are they going to try and plant for the open? So it will be open. This is going to give them the post-plant scenario from the bathrooms. But here they come. Backup connector. Spinks is making this more difficult.
Whoa, lovely control. LNZ delivers. D is no stranger to a clutch. In fact, a 1v2 to put that first on the board. Will he clear? Yes, but Plopski's better. And NIP keep a very, very cool head on their shoulders despite some early aggressions, early frags. They send ENCE right back to the pits of despair. It's what, 1700 on the high end, 14 on the low. And you can see that basically LNZ's Deagle, Hampus definitely contributing as well, and well handled in that 2v2. Keeping it cool. He sticks around for those fights, and LNZ's been a big part of NIP being threatening in both the pistol and that force.
Yeah, look, sometimes he doesn't have the most kills in the server by any means, but his impact, you can definitely track it. Now, if he can start trending up with an occasional multi-kill here and there as well as that impact, then he's going to be very, very handy for NIP heading in towards that major. But here we have ENCE bouncing back on a force by their own. Now, Hades, he's kept a little bit of extra cash, and you're probably asking why. Well, he wants to get that AWP out when the gun rounds do follow. But there's B aggression once more, and it's going to be called clear towards the backyard. They need to be on high alert right now. That's going to allow the rotation of Diha to come on over. Snappy, he's near that squeaky door. Now, if he swings that one open, there's two T's on the other side of that, Plopski and LNC. Bomb is going to be scooped up from Device right now, who's had to go back to grab that, but they're continuing this walk, and actually with quite the pace, because there's a minute 10 on the clock still, and they've already worked all the way up long. Bathrooms is the next on the docket, and Rez is starting to work on that territory now.
Yeah, and these Deagle Kev buys, they are all still very threatening, but I'd say they've had their claws clipped just a little. The body shot, shotgun style Deagling has been upped to 3. So aiming for the head, Hades misses the mark, and just a chunk taken out of Rez. May see some evidence of what I'm talking about as well if you see any players cut down to that 2-5 HP mark. Oh, Hampus knows his angles. Clears out Snappy, and it will be NIP that will leave with the lion's share of the opening 4.
Yeah, I might just want to try and hold on to this. Yep.
Nothing much more intimidating than just hearing all those AKs directly above you, knowing that there is a potential hunt. And actually, yeah, LNZ's going around the world to make sure he can really twist this knife, make sure he leaves with nothing.
This is interesting, though, that they're trying to deny everything, right? Normally you just see teams playing very safe here, but NIP with a clear plan of attack. Diha noted now, and here he is, LNZ, out the monster pipe, and away you go. Everybody from ENCE eliminated in that, and as you were mentioning, it will just be the ENCE save here. So the third round for NIP is almost destined to come on through. Hard to see things getting unraveled with just the USPs, and shouldn't be any room for investment otherwise. So a good start from NIP on their map choice. It's obviously a bit more of a pressure environment for most of the players in the server, being a final on LAN. And one of the things here that we can probably talk about during this eco is just getting enough reps in, right? So LAN has been a void for everybody. It's not like some have had more opportunities than others. There's just been a slim amount. Now, obviously for this EU RMR, this is the only one that has been played on LAN. So it's great for these guys right here, especially the newer names, Hades, Diha, Spinks, Doto, and then on the other side, you likes of LNZ, right, to be getting in some LAN prep and prac. But they're used to a boot camp environment where we've seen both of these teams in their facilities throughout the online era, which means that they're comfortable in an environment with each other. They are in what we call LAN light at the moment. LNZ pushed, a little spray for 2. They will almost get their hands on it.
Ooh. Brave to be peeking back into that AK. Plopski does hold his nerve, and now holding the line, Hades gives it everything he could. And a third secured. So NIP, they've really kept it very clean after the shortcomings in the 1v2 on that pistol. Winning that force by war, that 2v2 up against Spinks and Diha. And since then, yeah, just one-way traffic. The Swedes up on this T side. It's time to get those weapons out.
That's interesting, right? We obviously don't know exactly what the PGL Major is going to look like in terms of what environment are they playing in, for the group stages at least, right? We know when we get to the arena, it's going to be in that Vici Globe, but we're not too certain exactly what the group stage will look like. So this kind of environment is what you can expect more of, right? Usually for the group stage of majors, we don't have a crowd. That isn't something that you've had in too many opportunities before. And Hades lucky to peer away from that one as Ice has the big green out on the other side. Spinks naded, Doto low. They are coming, and Plopsky's hit a big one right there. NIP starting hot today. Standard util. Oh, actually, that's a bit of a deeper smoke right there from Device, right? So it's actually smoked off the visibility from the lower side of the bathroom. So he can actually peer on in and take a fight to the upper deck. Hades thrust forward into the AWP of Device and does draw one back.
Dio went for a bit of a Hail Mary on that info play on B. Oh, and in the rotation, Doto dunked. NIP looking like a very, very big threat. The site is lost. Snappy forced to save. Hades obviously equipped with that AWP, the only kill they've actually posted. He might take a pot shot or two. Would love to deny the plant and cause chaos if he could.
Going down now, I think once it gets planted, he should just be getting away from this, right? That damage done, 43. A stray bullet may be enough to take him on down, so he's going to back on off. And, well, they're starting to hunt again here. NIP, you mentioned turning the knife. I don't think they want to allow ENCE to breathe. So Hampus is searching. Hades should hit this. He's waiting for a teammate here, so the tradability on the chase.
Yeah. Oh, the gun baits Hampus looking the wrong way. Rez not going to make the same mistake, and confirmation the hunt is on.
Double AWPs right now. This is actually a big carry through.
Sick carry through. Oh, and a leg shot into Rez living on 10 HP. That's surely enough to pull the plug. Yeah, they're thinking better of that.
At least they've been able to understand what's been picked up, right? So now knowing that two AWPs are in play, this could be one of those scenarios where NIP, I mentioned it earlier, just go for one of those B plays with a lot of flashes, because that's going to be quite suppressing. Now, if you're threat right here, maybe you see he had a worried look on his face. Double AWPs, not easy to deal with, right? And you're hoping at this point Hampus makes the right call and you don't have to call a timeout and go for a little bit of a readjust. Threat has said in the past that he allows Hampus and entrusts the calls that he makes, and only steps in when necessary. So what is Hampus going to go with here? Because the double AWPs, they can be deadly, especially if they just find an opening that's not tradable. Heading towards B, you're going to see the molly thrown on out over towards that sandbag position, stifling any early control. And Hades on the run boost will get him across, and he can peek from the right side. Hades, the bomb has been dropped.
And Device was posted up to guard him from peaks like that. The run boost is going to bail them out. A smoke for good measure, and Hampus's hunt cut short by the Deeg. Deeg sticking around on the sandbags, trying to catch a nice little off angle here, and into the angle, he does eliminate Rez. Okay, okay. Hades and Snappy with saved AWPs, and now only one remains. He's gone too. Such big contributions, not only out of Deeg, the lovely run boost opener, and that's a recovery.
There you go. You see the power of those double AWPs immediately right there. It was even set up with Snappy and Connector, right? And that was a bit of a 180 required to cover off towards those sandbags if you were NIP and you wanted to progress any more. So a great response here to keep things at least a little bit competitive for ENCE in the early stages of this. But enough money for NIP to get out the full buy. Device back into his AWP. ENCE have actually opted to not keep the double AWPs going forward. They've gone into rifle. Oh, actually, they have. Sorry, I'm going blind, guys.
We're looking for Snappy.
Almost quite
We're
literally.
looking at Snappy.
He dropped it across to Spinks.
Yes.
Well, one S to the other. But here we go. They are heading towards this B site, and you can understand this, right? You can have a lot of flashes, the mollies, the smokes. They will deal with the line of sight to the AWP.
Yeah, basically saying they're not going to pull off that again is NIP's statement. Let's see if they can prove it. Let's see if this is the call to have been made.
Heard that.
Yeah, spotted out. Big fragging from the Swedes. It's only the one out of Deeg. They keep him humble.
Wasn't even the double AWPs they had to deal with. The rifles are gone down. Now the double AWPs have to retake. Best of luck.
It is a nice save. It could lead to this kind of constant cycle where NIP know what you're saving and keep throwing pace into the mix. I don't know if ENCE have got another counter to that.
The thing is, it's going to deter NIP from going towards A, because we know how many different positions towards that A bomb site are possible to pick with the AWP. So at least ENCE could hedge that it is going to be the B plays, or maybe a little bit more through Connector where they can close down those fights. But yeah, it will be the save again. NIP up to 5 here on the T half, and things are going smooth right now.
Saw Snappy at lunch.
Oh yeah, you did?
Said hello, gave him, you know, all of the kind words about just how incredibly I said. In fact, no, I said, there he is. It's the Mega Brain.
The Mega Brain.
The Mega Brain, and he said, that's not me. And I said, what? He said, it's the coach.
Oh, Saw's the Mega Brain.
So a lot of credit from in-game leader Snappy to Coach Saw.
Okay.
And obviously that's something that's quite hard for us to quantify and to recognize. But having someone, you know, who literally is calling the shots, point credit in that direction is a very good sign that Saw is pulling his weight and then some.
Yeah, that's nice to see, right? Obviously, you're right. Occasionally we hear the player comms, right? And normally it's with them saying nice. So you ask players for information about the way that they approach the game. They want to hold that very close to their chest. So when they are handing out credit, usually there's good cause for that. Now, it will be the first time out taken in that mega brain that you're talking about from the Starship Troopers. He's going to be having 30 seconds to chime on in right now.
Oh, it's not bugged. I was just looking at that ADR 8 next to Doto's name, and I was like, something's gone wrong. But he has still yet to frag. Just double checking, it is straight confirmed 8 average damage per round. Doto being really, really quiet, and I've been considered him one of the consistent pillars of ENCE. He's not, doesn't have to be the superstar, but when it comes to closing rounds, when it comes to doing his job, Doto yet to really have a big quiet one here in Stockholm.
Yeah, it's still early stages. Hopefully he can come alive for us here. It'd be,
not writing him out in round 7. I'm just saying that that's something to keep an eye on. For example, we saw Rez for NIP in their game up against Skade on this very map. Rez, I think, on the T side of the opening half of the Ninjas, he went down 0-8, maybe even 0-9.
Him and Hampus, I think, were both 0-9 at one point in the game.
And of course, he found himself at like 23 at the end of it. So, not here to write him out, but a slow start for the Finn.
Just getting used to in-ears as well with headphones over the top is something you probably need to put a bit of weight in.
I think some players I saw actually just starting to condition themselves for that in the online stage.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it?
Why wouldn't you? Oh my God, that was a Hail Mary.
He's on the board.
He's on the board. Snappy flash, and Doto did not hesitate to try and pursue an opener. It's floating at an even keel.
Makes sense to be heading back towards B, right? We know about these orbs. We know about them. We've spoken about them a lot here. One of them is still over towards A. Spinx is over towards this B side of things. And Device, well, he's not really in the picture right now. He's containing things, but this is where the fight will go down.
And there's a very good reason why we are going to be seeing just half of Overpass being played out right now, is because I'll let you think about just how many places 2 AWPs could be defending that side of the map from. Long, toilets, good luck, Underpass, Spinx is connected on the monster pipe. They might go around the world, you know, with a full 50 seconds still to play with, and Device trying to take space. So those questions about where are the AWPers holding from will be answered by Device, and he's gone very wide on this, already walking up the banana and considering his options. Plopsky to join in through Fountain, and that is just what Device was waiting for. A flash off for Hades, got to be careful not to overextend. Will tuck in, he reveals the AWP tucked on sight. Process of elimination dictates he can close this gap. Util dropped, looking great from NIP, but time could become a factor.
Another miss now.
Yeah, and the bomb's coming in wide from Plopsky in the blind spot. Strikes again. It's Spinx still keeping ENCE in this. Both confirmed. Spinx 3 on the secondary, and ENCE will convert their third as well. They like the double AWPs, they will maintain it, and when Hades is having a quiet round, it's none other than Spinx to step up with the triple.
Yeah, that right there really came down to the kill on Hades. I thought as soon as they had dealt with him, it should have been done, but Spinx coming up with the impact and locking it in for their third. That's how it started, and they took the fight. That's classic with ENCE right now, wanting to push the agenda here. Walking on in, Snappy's info allowed the rotation to come on over a little bit earlier than otherwise would have been the fact. I know he goes down, but the info maybe a big contributing factor in this, as here we go again. This time it is just going to be the 5 AK-47s. No ult for Device. Warning shot from Hades here as he's pushed on back by the Util and the bullets. Snappy with a nice little nade right there, and you can see exactly what that one's for. You time that one well, you get players coming through the pipe into towards the sewer position. Now there's a plethora of different ways you could gather information, but this flash from Doto, it's over, and they're going forward.
Yeah, they actually ate it. Holding their nerve, holding their ground. They're going to peek in. Oh gosh, NIP. They'll take a 2 for 1. Buy one, get one free. It's very short-lived. Doto being swung upon. It's a lot of damage. LNZ vulnerable to nade, spray. No one in a position to do so. Doesn't opt for the wall bang as Device. Should have Spinx's number here, and he does. The nade onto Linus is late. Bomb ticking, and Hades It's a tall order with an AWP. Device will strike on contact. He'll swing through that smoke. He's got to find both of the... It's not to be. Solid conversions out of NIP. And they are persistent, aren't they? They will just keep knocking on that door.
And they're loud as well, which is a really good sign here. Really good sign that they're motivated for this one right now. It's an interesting position to find yourself in here. You've qualified for the major. You're already in that legend spot. ENCE have qualified as well. But remember, this is a tournament of its own. It's the grand final. Still a win, you know, still the winners of the tournament, and against a lot of other good teams from Europe here. Obviously, we don't have so much international representation with CIS and all that jazz. Still the best of your peers, I guess we could put it, as now Device will be back into that all.
You don't get here without having a very high competitive drive.
Oh, that's just 2 for Hampus. So continuing to try the push over towards Monster. He might even get the 3rd. Spinks eventually gets something back, and Hades does on the other side of the map. So we find ourselves in a quick 3v3 at a minute 30. Hades stuck by the light pole, and Device, he needs to finish this one off before he gets away, and he will. Woof.
Okay. Well, thank you, Device, if you're the ninjas. It felt like that advantage kind of just evaporated rapidly.
I think it might have to be a gamble scenario here for ENCE. We already saw them try and play out a 2-on-2 situation before where they were spread. Snappy's going to get info here through another fade of the smoke, and that's 3 separate bodies that they have pushed through that monster smoke this round, or at least tried to.
Interesting angle Spinks has gone for. Like, he could be anywhere, right? Optimus is common, type right is common. In the long corner especially. And is he susceptible to flashes? Perhaps that's one of the leading causes. And a chance, a big one! Spinks takes them both down! Will he expect a 3rd? Looking for Device, and Spinks 2 rounds in a row, saving ENCE. What a recovery.
Huge stuff right there. You talk about the unexpected angle that he's just approached. You could see the shadow as he's come on through. So because they were slow about things, because they were creeping around that corner, he knew they were coming. Now, it is only a split second of information, but enough for him to go huge. And this is how the round started. So you're thinking at that point, NIP, they should be set for success. They should be looking to convert a round right here, but not to be the case. And back and forth we go. That's 5 rounds now of back and forth Counter-Strike. NIP, they've forced in again. 2 AKs, couple of upgraded pistols, and light on the util here. If they want to continue this rally of rounds, they will need to convert this one, and that's not the start Rez was looking for. Gobbles up a nade. They can continue their slow crawl over towards A. This is very A-heavy, right? 2 in connector, nobody towards backyard, and Diha's found that info out successfully this time.
Yeah, it's make or break at this point for ENCE's recovery to that 6-6. You can't let something like this slip away, and make no mistake, NIP more than capable, demonstrating that in the second round alone. 2 AKs was all it took.
They know this is going to be an A play right now, ENCE, right? Diha, he's pushed all the way through towards T-spawn. So he's closing the door behind them. He's secured all that information, and ENCE have been able to rotate 4 players over towards A. The only way back is down through connector, and right now, NIP, they're not even holding on to that piece of real estate.
Ooh. Oh, now that really is a lot of information. Bomb carrier down, and there goes one of the AKs. Device has the Kev for this, and the frag. Losing the dog tag of Hampus, and down goes Diha as well. This one's already got a little more messy than they were ready for. Snappy, believe it or not, looking for info. He gets more than he bargained for as he chips further away at Device's health pool, but 2-on-2. And a bit of a race now taking shape. Plopsky's got his runners on. Actually, as I say that, hits his walkie as he looks to rejoin with the pack. Might see a weapon swapped out here. There's a law that dictates. But Plopsky may use that timing he has just being ahead of Device to try and take that space initially.
Good util as well here. Smoke and a Molotov to work with right now, so they should get onto the bomb site. Starting to rotate over his Doto. The time has hit that point, and the sound cue's given it away. Smoke's up, Molly towards the pit, and they will be planting, but now it's just Plopsky with the MP9.
Oh yeah, bullets are shy. Device down. And Plopsky, an ideal weapon for the job. He wants them to get close, let that gap close. But actively contesting Heaven, at least it gives him the information that this fight's likely graffiti. Util and Hades. Plopsky wants to fight, wants to brawl. They're crawling in though, and oh, catches a leg, catches a frag. It's up to Hades, the AWP is up to the task. ENCE, a 5th and a likely 6th locked in, called this one all dead square.
That one there almost got out of control, didn't it? So 6-5 the scores right now, and it almost really fell apart. And with all that information, the early push from Diha, surprising to see it go that way. But I think because of the nature of the round like this and the bomb plant for NIP, they'll continue with the force buys. They have enough rounds on this T-half here to work with when they cross on over. So if they can continue to push and try and break this ENCE economy, which they're just one round away from doing so, at that point, they're going to be able to run away with a couple more of their own. So being persistent in this purchase.
Yeah, and I've seen some really lovely little flash XX. You know, we just cut the 3 CTs with white screens. That's the NIP. And this is it. This is literally what I'm talking about. These flashes, it's very hard to have a position, whether it's pillar, barrels, or water, where you actually can actively contest the pressure from short without eating Device's flashes.
Someone has to just sit looking at the floor here.
Yeah. Here they come. Look at this. Doto, blind as a bat. Diha, desperate, down already. Doto can't quite contribute the second at Snappy that's arrived on the scene exactly when he needed to. 10 HP on Hampus. It looks okay, but he runs out of bullets, dies with his knife in his hands.
Spinks again.
Has he got another clutch in him? Oh, the open plant. But now Hampus caught out the smoke. Suspects it will be short. Timing's everything. Device is cheeking in.
He's tucked under.
In the blind spot. Spinks can't adjust. Just the tip of the head. And that's big from the Dane. NIP. A war of attrition. This time won.
That's some heads-up Counter-Strike from Device. He's not letting the clutch play out. He's not allowing Spinks to get into the site and tap that bomb. He's decided to take the fight, and I can't believe the way that he's pulled that one off. This was crazy though, right? You guys saw all the flashes coming on through. It got stalled out by Snappy for a moment. He did a very good job, but then still the trades came through in favor of NIP. And the Device, just aggressive right there. You don't see that every day of the week.
And he could have. Like, if Spinks had immediately leapt to the water, I think he was far enough from the sound cue, so he took a real gamble that Spinks was playing that slow.
And maybe even on the jump there, Spinks could have caught the position of Device even while crouched. So here we go. It is going to be the force buy back, and Device has found the opener this time round. D-Hard dead. 5-on-4 establishes here, and you can see ENCE, they're desperate. Their buy is looking woeful at best. You're putting a lot of faith in that M4, aren't you?
Well, yeah, and welcome to the Hampus show. Something that he has been getting away with, which is often considered a bit vintage Counter-Strike. He is taking a whole massive gamble, and look how much space. At 1 minute 13, he's answered all the questions NIP may have had.
They've traded places though, right? So Spinks pushed all the way up here. If they come through connector, it's okay. They won't have to worry about Spinks' position. But because he's this far forward, is Hampus going to call the troops over? Is he going to go for a Taric maneuver here? Looks like the Taric is on the play, but will it be a Stewie variation? Let's find out.
Find out.
Oh, around the long way, not going to risk it from heaven. He may even go for a knife kill here. Why wouldn't you?
Get some extra cash.
Just for the BM early. You would definitely, like, you're going to establish who else is on the side. Oh, just get the knife. There you go. We're here.
Hello and goodbye. Spotted out Snappy in the water, surging forward. Doto would need to be hitting some much more precise headshots than those. Just chips away at the Kevlar.
It's a quick flank, but 1v5. I don't know about this.
That's nice. LNZ solves the mystery. 8-5 NIP. That is quite the haul on the T side already. You said they'd be happy when we talked about 5-6. Now, well, in hot pursuit of 9.
They might even get 10 here, right? Because at this point of the game, it is the 1900 that just came into the bank balance event, so they have to take a save, right? It'd be silly for them to go for 3 force buy scenarios in a row. Unfortunately, they've been on the receiving end of the financial woes here on their CT side, so NIP are in full control of their own fate. 9 should be a guarantee, and then 10 seeming likely, because NIP can pull out one of those gimmicky plays where they just use all those flashes again to get themselves in towards B. Device might be able to pad his stats here in a second. That's a nice flash, but not going to do a lot. He jumps on back, and he'll take a more passive scenario here as they are looking for him. That information has spurted NIP in towards the B bomb site. Plopsky getting it down, and Rez and Hampus have already started to work on over towards CT spawn.
He isn't coming and sticks around to take that first pot shot, and wow, Device, yeah, he is not threatened at all by these USBs.
Look where Hampus is. Hampus has already pushed all the way through CT spawn, now coming around behind them, connect up from A.
Oh, a lovely padding of the stats. He can't quite convert the aces or idle on the floor. He's not saving that. He'd have to work incredibly hard, and that is an unfortunate twist of fate. The no-scope tags him. Just knocks the kneecaps off of Hampus. Device is happy with that. Who wouldn't be when you put yourself up to 15? Top of the scoreboard, at least in the individual stats. And they gave it everything they had, just that uninvested USPs running them down. Doto, I reckon there was a world Had he connected that no-scope to the center of mass, that warp could have been carried over. No warp in play though, Chad. Money's light for this final round of our first half of our first map of this best of 5.
Yeah, and the double ops were a pretty big factor so far for ENCE in this one. Device taking a chunk of damage through the molly, and even more so as he peers on forward, so not afraid of the flames.
Actively wants to contest. Ooh. Dia was great in the early stages. Can he handle this again? Hampus is really quick on this, and just as he looks away, Hampus threads the needle. Doto does deliver. 2 from him.
Lights open.
No bomb. And so this could get weird still. Device has been scouted out and the flank is coming in. Spinks should have his number.
Oh, has an idea here, Device.
Oh my God.
How's he still alive? Two of them are dealing with him here. They can get the bomb down on B, but no one's got back to grab it just yet. Device is just getting the kills.
How is he not dead yet? And they know they lost the B site, so they're looking for answers. Hades, an interesting decision he's made. The bomb's been picked up in the meantime. Plopsky just about resolving that.
Device can come late now as well. So Snappy hasn't found him. Hades is here, calling it crisis time now. And here comes Device still.
Oh, good timing, but it will
have to be quick. They have to be quick.
Forward, they know he's detached from the pack, and there's Hades with the first. Plopsky spotted, and he executes. That's 10. What a fantastic T-half that is out of the Pyjama Ninjas. ENCE on the back foot. Sporadic CT rounds, not able to string together too much in consecutive fashion. We'll take a quick break and be right back to see if the Ninjas can close it out on their defense. Very good evening to you, ladies and gents. ENCE 5. And that is not either of them. NIP are on one side of them, ENCE are on the other, and we're heading on into that second half. A 10-round T-haul. Juicy from the Ninjas. Taking a look at the scoreboard for that update. You can see pretty solid haul from Device, finishing and finding himself on 16-14 for LNZ. You said you wanted to see impact outside of those 1 or 2 impact for D, because we started off with, and well, he continued and didn't buck that trend. We do see Snappy equipped with some util, 4 Kevlar vests. Let's see if ENCE can start with another pistol. Will they get both?
Pretty quick over towards A here, just one man of Device.
Of course, he's got the flexi pistol and already knocking off heads. 2 will do. Delivers, and he was so isolated. He's not only got the info, he's handed them an advantage. Doto's looking to try and catch and punish NIP's reaction here, and he will get space on B. So it's going to be a question of
space.
How they get themselves to join him.
Now, Rez here is going to catch the tail end of the pack. Right, they are going to come on through his line of sight, but you're right about Doto. If he continues to push up forward here, he can cut off the rotations through CT spawn. Here comes a heaven smoke from Snappy, and that is going to start forcing that rotation back over. So Rez isn't going to be able to kill them.
No, and Doto unaccounted for. One tiny tap onto the toes, but they're in, and Doto's tucked in. Short is an issue, but the plant's safe from it. Good plant. Iha taking a fight. Joint engagement, no one down. Retake taking shape. LNZ with a kit. They can take their time for these engagements. That's one. Gooshed on up. Rez operating with a pretty mean limp. Mad Eye Moody style. Doto going round the world. And Diha, oh, some chances. The flank's coming in. About to lock it in. Yeah, it looks great. He needs to strike, and he does. Puts the kit on the floor. A time-sensitive mission for the very low HP of Rez. They played it to perfection. What a conversion, despite the double from Device. Again, ENCE leave, and that's both pistols now in the bag.
Yeah, Rez here might even go down with the bomb, trying to get away. Doto gets the kill, it doesn't even matter. And Doto's space there is what allowed them to come back in towards that site. But I thought, considering he didn't keep pushing, that it wasn't going to be a non-factor, because they knew the bomb site was given up. And I'd be like, okay, well, we've given it up here. We are playing retake. But the fact that he continues that crawl, finds no resistance towards CT spawn and comes behind, well, that is the round sold. Great stuff here, but they need to convert now. Really hard time of doing that within that first half, and they're going to have a hard time doing it again. There's some Deagles brought out, an MP9 and a Scout, and a tactical timeout for good measure here. Now, we know how quickly these things can get out of control and the comeback can begin. So Threat, the coach of NIP, just going to take his time, talk the boys through this one and see if they can deal with the tendencies. Now, in these type of rounds, teams are going to run out of ways to solve the puzzle, right? So in tells, this is what you're looking for. When you're analyst, he watches the demos, he goes, okay, guys, on the anti-ecos of these map, they like to do this, right? So you get to hedge, right? You get to have an idea of where do we want to stack? Which bomb site do we think they're likely going to end at? Where do we want to take aggressively with what we've purchased on in on? And they do have a few smokes, right? 3 of which right now, and even a couple of HEs. So Hampus and Device, I'd be curious to see if they pair up with those nades early. Might be some direction behind exactly what I was talking about as far as the anti-strat. LNZ is going to throw out the smoke. Born.
Sorry about that. I pressed the wrong button.
Muted both of us at the same time.
I did. Courtesy, really. But,
Silence for everybody.
yeah, maybe that's what the button everyone wishes we were pressing.
We saw this the other day, right, out of Hampus. Now, it's a difficult thing to bring to great success. A flashed up Device gives away the fact he has the scout, and they've already taken a lot of space. So the repeat, he should probably stop hanging around about now.
Look at the damage he's inflicting. He's still sticking around, Chad. He wants more. He could put one through the tree trunk. He's about to be swung upon. Look at ENCE's health. God almighty. There's just a single player without blood soaking in his ENCE jersey. Still, Spink stands to deliver.
All the damage is for naught here.
Well, I'm not ready to write them out just yet, Chad. HE, Deagle, prime target. And down goes Spinks. That's a start from Hampus, and now looking to play some mind games on the relocation. They're cutting noise. And I imagine not only cutting noise, but also a bit sketched out.
Thing is, right now, NIP don't have any information, so they've backpedaled over towards the B bomb site, whereas Doto, the highest HP member, has regrouped with the crew over towards Long, and they're in the blind spot, even if there was an NIP player on top of the bomb site here, going for a little bit of a look. And as they hear this utility hit the deck of the A bomb site, NIP know they've gambled incorrectly. Hampus and LNZ.
Snake eyes.
So they want to get in for this because Snappy, he might have the back here. He does, but needs to connect the shot. Hampus has taken one and can't turn around to control onto Snappy there. So it is just LNZ.
3 HP that one. That could have been
young
an easy reaction shot. And well, LNZ, not today. Denied by Hades.
It was a good attempt, right? Because he knew that one player was more passive. And if he's able to get a kill onto the side there, the bomb hadn't gone down yet. There's always a world, but not to be the case here. And should be looking at their 8th round now. They've humbled the Ninjas. Should be conservative in the next round of play. Definitely won't be any armor coming through. Maybe just an upgrade of a HE or a pistol. But nothing you want to write home about here. And there it is. You've got Deagle in the hands of Hampus. The rest with those USPs. And a couple of HE grenades for Plopsky, Rez, and Device.
Why not take a pot shot? Had the spawn. Throws one down towards the playground. No one's down, but a little bit of damage inflicted. Hades. Just with a grazed elbow.
If Hampus can be really jarring here, his job is to just keep them at bay. Make sure that they go towards that B bomb site where the stack is right now and those 3 nades. So if he can get a kill, if he can continue to show this Deagle across the map, there you go again. So just being called pesky right now as Snappy's found out 1 or 2. Doto with some more information. The nades, they don't find a lot right there. And now that Hampus has fallen, so should the round. Still plenty of time on the clock. And again, there's 2 players from ENCE, which have, well, make that 3 players from ENCE that have taken a huge chunk of damage. Hoping, if it is late, one of those 3 are not the ones planting the bomb, because Plopsky, he held strong and kept that $300 HE. $30, that'd be cheap.
Yeah, that'd be a bargain bucket HE.
They are coming A. The bomb is long again.
Yeah, there's a universe where this gets a bit more uncomfortable for them, because at 30 seconds the commit has to come in, and so do the frags. And there's Device proving off point. Can he get anything else done? Plopsky has thrown his nade out a little premature.
20 seconds.
They are still trying to break through. Good use of their util, good patience and restraint, and there it is. Using Spinks' full HP just to forge a path into the site. But yeah, NIP, they are threatening at all junctures of this game. Like, there isn't even on the USBs and 3 HE, the $900 round, Chad. And it leaves ENCE still feeling a little hot under the collar.
Yeah, good stuff there that they focused on just the kills as opposed to the objective, right? Sometimes you can focus on just wanting to get into the site and get the bomb down. Well, if you can clear it out first and make sure you're staying sharp as attack like this, things are looking good for ENCE in that side of things. Now, they've got a couple of MAC-10s. They have an AWP, 2 AKs. You might see something a little bit quicker here. That's going to be the Heaven Smoke from Snappy, fast towards B, and LNZ only gets a dink.
Not today. Spinks has come to play. Takes the space, confirms where Device does lie. They're playing well around the barrels. Oh, not for long. Plopsky both falls alongside with Hampus. Device's reposition now noted, and Rez throws off one single pot shot. Oh! Doto's jump costs him his life, and there goes the round. Solid from the Ninjas into the first gun round.
Solid from Device. He got 4 there, right? He's stepping up in a big way. 23 kills now. Him and Spinks, top fraggers in the server here, and that's massive impact out of the AWP. Another smile on his face right there, but that was really quick. LNZ not ready for that. The fact he gets a dink off, yeah, sure, but he was immediately overrun by that MAC-10. Good trading from both teams, but again, it is Device here playing around that Heaven position with the AWP. And there's our ops team just highlighting some of those drop smoke grenades for the CTs. Now, Plopsky's just going to have a CZ in his hands here. On the other side, Hades only has a Deagle, so both teams with 4 rifles and 1 pistol. An important round to play here. Whoever wins this one can start skyrocketing themselves towards that 15.
Molotov towards the barrels, and again Device features in that kill feed, opening up onto Diha. Good to see him up to his winning ways.
Feeling himself, isn't he?
He is.
Just able to go for those picks. We've seen it earlier in the tournament as well on the T side with the AWP, where he's just gone out on his own to manufacture openings for this team when the chips are down.
An uncomfortable position for Hades.
He has the bomb, so I don't love the fact he's on his own, especially with Rez pushing long here. So he will get away, unknowing exactly what was just on the other side there. And they've turned their attention towards B. Rez confirms that it is looking pretty clear over towards A. The B defenders of NIP batten down the hatches. Plopsky, LNZ, and Hampus, and Devices on the way.
Doesn't get deeper than that for a monster smoke. And at the 30-second mark, they're going to have, what, 20 to work through into the site, but this time up against 4 M4, excuse me, 3.
Comes the nose flash.
Yeah, nice one for Linus, though. Does drop his incendiary, so rotting more time off.
They just save. I think they should. They got to back on out here. You don't want to give away all these rifles.
Oh, and the punishment does strike again. They can't fully escape. Snappy will at least punish another, and no time for this, so the save completes.
Hampus might even push here. Look how close he is. I know they don't have a lot of cash, but...
Yeah, no, not interested.
Okay. Oh, they should get one of the individuals on the kit. They will. Device grabs that. He didn't quite get it, did he? Okay. Thought he was going to risk it on the movement right there, but...
They're going to be furious about that. Call a timeout.
Yeah, well, you know, you like to save the pennies, right?
No, of course.
Penny pinches in Counter-Strike. That's all we think about as the economy these days. But, yeah, I think it really sucks because they did pull the plug, but it was too late. It was too late. They lost a player on the way out the door there. So... ENCE with only 3 surviving, and that means the loss bonus didn't come on through. Now, it would have been quite a small loss bonus, so it's not the end of the world. Doto can invest right here into an AK. Diha's already purchased on him with some of his funds, and they're jigging the guns around. So Snappy, the in-game leader, has given the AK to Diha, who's got himself some head armor. Snappy with the Deagle, and as I mentioned, Doto, he can buy. Now, he's probably just waiting for the call. You know, what nades do I need? What type of round are we going to be
He's hovering over the AK, you know, like, Daddy, can I go without any?
If it's quick, you know, he might be able to do that. But otherwise, he is likely going to have to go into the Galil here with nades around it. Oh, okay, so there you go. He's been gifted the AK. He's been given permission.
Thank you, Papa.
That's quite nice. So
even getting some util thrown to him.
We all prefer that type of a buy, don't we? So let's see. The drop nades making this look great for ENCE, and away we go. Standard stuff from them. Short molly. Hades going to extinguish one, and that allows the A presence to be noted. Now you see this, that they're setting up at long. We probably won't see it come into play, but not a whole lot going on this default. So Device can take this peek and then see where Rez is. What will happen is Device will take that shot, he'll drop off, and then he'll get on Rez's head, and he'll also have an elevated peek over the top.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, so you get a second, and then you still have time to drop back.
You're swinging for that trade on the AWPer, you're immediately pre-aiming that drop-off. You're like, okay, he's not there. You're looking at the tight wall for the re-peek, and yeah, you were sitting duck in his blind spot.
Yeah, so that's a nice little maneuver. Now, it's
cool.
Didn't happen, but you guys see the idea, right? There's always contingency set up. We don't always get to note it because they're preparing, and that's why you see them so active perspective on the CT side. Okay, is this coming? Okay, the time has gone past. They could have pushed bathrooms. Let's move around. And they are coming long.
Yeah, but Device is long gone. Obviously, there's a timer on that absence of toilet info. So he has to acknowledge that. Snappy, a smoke for the site.
2 smokes from this position.
2 smokes. So that's for bridge and site. That will be. This is gonna feel like a full commit, especially if Dota gets anything on this. And he does. Ahead of the flash. A second spotted. NIP are going to be hitting the panic button on this site. It's so threatening.
Rez got 2 over towards A.
Yeah, so they're going to try and pivot. It is actually going to become what the B fake will be. The B commit and another timing window. He just about gets through. Doto damaged. That's a lovely double. And now Snappy piecing this one together again with Diha.
20 seconds. Yeah, you're right. They do have to go B right now. It's all on Hampus.
Device will arrive in heaven in time, at least to contribute if they go wide. Oh, and they may not need help. Okay, a one-on-one established. He knows it's Device. He knows it's an AWPer, and that is all it takes. A 1v1 from Devet, 25 frags and counting. ENCE are running out of opportunities here on Overpass.
Yeah, and then you just have to remember as well, they didn't get the loss bonus previously, so that's why that gun round was so juicy, because of the saved gun. So now they're starting to really feel the hurt locker of this one.
Oh, so Rez really forced them to be.
Yeah, it was great that he got 2 there, completely cancelled their plans, and it looked like a solid fake. You're right, you could just see how smoked off the entire site was, and the lack of information is normally enough to either make people overcall. You know, you'll see in those comm videos where people are going, B, 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 B. The inflection in the voice can sometimes be enough to sell it. So staying calm, and now more than ever, calling what you see is very important.
And that was something Yanka was talking about on the desk. I'll bite my tongue for a second to see if Hades can impress. An M4, a headshot. Some space to be taken. Spinks, ooh. Aware of Device's position. Hades trying to pip a gap, and yeah, caught out by Hampus. But as Yanka was saying on the desk, he was just talking a little bit about how Device has made it clear that he's been able to bring that experience, his wealth of experience, at the very top of the pyramid, to just talk it through with the younger players about perhaps their overcalling, undercalling, not being specific with their communications. And I'm sure you combine that with threat, you've got such a recipe for, you know, veterancy quickly.
It's good, right? Because, you know, in the real world, you know, we say respect your elders. Well, in Counter-Strike, it's probably one of the things where you actually will, because you want to learn, and you want to learn quickly. So being able to listen to somebody like Device for that level of advice is great. But one of the things I want to note here, and maybe the desk can touch on it, Yanko would be perfect, when it seems like NIP have come today ready for heads-up Counter-Strike, knowing about these gnarly pushes and the way that ENCE like to approach the game, because very rarely have we seen NIP get caught off guard by those pushes. They've either been coming out in equal trades, or they've looked ready for it and just lost the fight. And I think that's been a contributing factor here of 14, but look at this.
This is so ballsy, and they drop in for a double. Snappy just puts his head on the chopping block and says, me next.
Yeah, that is looking great for 15 now. Warning shot fired on out. Device knows that he is being surrounded here. It is up to Diha over towards Fountain. Oh, Device flashed away. He's actually going to get out of dodge. Teamwork. Yeah. Oh. Well, Diha still finds him. That is a lovely shot right there. Should have thanked his lucky stars and gone all the way back to the side there, Device. They still have the number advantage. Connector was a problem, and you can see they're on high alert. Who's down there? We don't know. There's no information to work with, so that's going to be in the back of their heads here as they try and repiece this round back together. But looking like 15 now for NIP.
Yeah, and Plopsky often thriving in this angle. We used to see him absolutely slay with the AUG. He could be more susceptible to an OP fight if that M4 doesn't find the head swiftly. There's a smoke at the perfect time. We've seen this one before. The script playing out similarly.
Really rough now.
Diha would have to do something magical. Rez is already considering that the party position is clear. Underpass becoming a priority for him. And, well, this is going to have to be the go. Plopsky, oh, he completely turns the flash just ahead of it. Strikes for the first. Hades is quick on the draw. And pushing 10 seconds. 2 frags required. He can't get anything done, and neither can Hades. NIP looking so well drilled, and the individuals as well. Presence of mind from Plopsky, working with the sound cues and the limited information he had from his teammates, he did manage to not only maintain his vision to take one with him. Rez, another highly impactful round from him, like he's quietly keeping up with the squad. In fact, the whole squad, other than Device, who's having his superstar level performance, is within 2 frags of each other. 15 to 17 for the rest of those 4 ninjas.
Pretty good stuff there, and if you just take a little bit of a look, obviously we have this Blast Showdown coming up on the 12th of October. Now NIP, they don't have to play in that event, and they've already qualified themselves for the next stage of that. So for them, once they show this epic performance, they just get to sit and wait until the major here. So that's exciting that if we leave on this note, of this level of NIP going into the first Swedish major since 2014. The storylines are really coming together, and they're already in that legend stage.
Oh, and then you just throw in the spice of his old team standing between him on the home soil for the Ninjas. Imagine. Spinks and Hampus duking it out. It's Plopsky that does deliver 2 on that short pipe. There's nothing really left for them. Oh, bleak. Yeah, caught Hampus just holding the nerve and holding the line. It is just up to a low HP on Snappy. Otherwise, this is going to be a very quick overpass. It's round 24, looking to be the final one of play.
This would be some clutch here from Snappy. Time is the only positive thing he has right now, and I'm sure he wishes he didn't.
Well, the fights are all going to come around this corner. Oh, he's just going to get caught on the walkthrough. Oh, okay, he's caught Hampus, and there's 2 more to fight. Need headshots